So welcome to another edition of Fantasy Dream Homes. Well, I'm out here in the Glacial Drumlin Trail, and I just thought it'd be a beautiful morning to come to you from an outdoor location instead of being in my office all the time. So today we got a lot in store for you, and this is going to be I think an extra informative video for you. We're going to Savannah, Georgia, and I gotta tell you, when I did the research for Savannah, I've been to Georgia a few times, but I've never been to Savannah, and I plan to correct that. I'm gonna go to Savannah, Georgia, because there's a lot to see and do. So let's check out our fantasy dream homes in Savannah, Georgia. Okay, so we've got a lot to cover. We're going to visit Savannah, Georgia. Let's click our little button here, and away we go to Savannah, Georgia. And we're going to stop right there just because I want, just so you get an idea where this is. So here's your state of Georgia. These are your boundary lines right here. It's north of Florida. And to the right of Alabama, in other words, to the east of Alabama, and South Carolina. Savannah is right on the boundary line of Georgia and South Carolina. It just falls right into Georgia. So let's get going in there and go in a little closer. So Savannah, Georgia is considered one of the most charming cities of the South, and it's the very definition of Southern hospitality. It has a metro population of about 388,000 people, and it's adorned with ornate antebellum architecture. Now, what is antebellum architecture? And let me just show it to you. Picture is worth 1,000 words. You're going to see these type of homes. This is your old Southern style homes. This is considered antebellum architecture. Ante, from the Latin word before, bellum meaning the war. So before the war, and they're referring, of course, to the Civil War. So what they're talking about is the time frame from the Revolutionary War in American history to the Civil War. And the Civil War started in 1860. So that would be about from mid-1770s to 1860. So this architecture would be characterized, if you will, by Georgian style, neoclassical, and Greek revival. So Savannah is the oldest city in the U.S. state of Georgia. It was established on February 12th, 1733 by the British general James Oglethorpe, and settlers from the ship Anne landed at Yamacraw Bluff and were greeted by the Tomochichi, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, the Yamacraws, and Indian traders John and Mary Musgrove. Mary Musgrove often served as an interpreter, and it was founded on the Savannah River. The city of Savannah became the British colonial capital of the province of Georgia, and later the first state capital of Georgia. It was a strategic port city in the American Revolution and during the American Civil War. Savannah today is an industrial center and an important Atlantic seaport. It is Georgia's fifth largest city and the third largest metropolitan area. Now I will tell you about Savannah. I've been to Georgia several times. Sadly, I've never been to Savannah. I've always wanted to go for a lot of reasons, and a lot of them we're going to cover here. It's known for so many things. Now, there's a really good website here, and this will all be in the show notes. So here is Visit Savannah, and it is the go-to tourism website for Savannah, and I'm not being paid to say any of this. I'm just saying this is a good site for if you want to do planning. Come to this website, and like I said, I'll put it in the show notes. So each year, Savannah attracts millions of visitors to its cobblestone streets, its parks, its notable historic buildings. And for any kind of information you want for dining, entertainment, places to stay, you want to go to Visit Savannah. It's the official destination marketing organization for the greater Savannah area. Something else you probably didn't know, and I certainly didn't, about Savannah, Georgia. Savannah is the birthplace of Juliet Gordon Low, who is the founder of the Girl Scouts of the United States of America. Girl Scouts, and for those of you who don't know, is a youth organization for girls in the United States and American girls living abroad. So it was founded by Juliet Gordon Low in 1912. It was organized after Low met British Army officer Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of the Boy Scouts, in 1911. Upon returning to Savannah, Georgia, she telephoned a distant cousin saying, "I've got something for the girls of Savannah and all of America and all the world, and we're going to start it tonight." Cool story, huh? From the first gathering of a small troop of 18 culturally and ethnically diverse girls, Juliet broke the conventions of the time, reaching across class, cultural, and ethnic boundaries to ensure all girls, including those with so-called disabilities, that they had a place to grow and develop their leadership skills. Using her innate talent for fundraising and public relations, combined with her vast network of friends and supporters, she led Girl Scouts with passion and determination, ensuring it was always and would be an experience that was girl-led. Girl Scouts USA prepares girls to empower themselves and promotes compassion, courage, confidence, character, leadership, entrepreneurship, and active citizenship through activities involving camping, community service, learning first aid, and earning badges by acquired practical skills. Girl Scouts achievements are recognized with various special awards, including the Girl Scout Gold, Silver, and Bronze Awards. And I love their cookies too. Let's check out the latest cookies. If you haven't tried Girl Scout cookies, you gotta, because they're awesome. Ever since I was a kid, I've always loved the Thin Mints. When you're supporting a good cause, or a great cause by purchasing them, the Caramel Delights, those are awesome. Hey, there's hardly a Girl Scout cookie that I don't like. And look here, Savannah Smiles. It's a lemon flavor cookie. I've never had this one, and it's named after their founding origin, Savannah, Georgia. So I had no idea that the Girl Scouts all started in Savannah, Georgia. What a wonderful, wonderful organization the Girl Scouts is. So let's tell you something else about Savannah, Georgia that you probably didn't know, and I certainly didn't know, or maybe you did, but I didn't know it. So Chippewa Square is known for the famous park bench scene from the movie Forrest Gump. In the opening shot of the film, a feather floats high above the trees and sweeps down past the Independent Presbyterian Church and makes its way toward Chippewa Square, eventually landing at the base of a park bench. Tom Hanks, who plays the role of Forrest, sits on his bench for about 80% of the film, telling his life story to anyone who'll listen. So the bench that Forrest sits at in the movie was actually a movie prop that has since been placed in the Savannah History Museum. But that location of the bench from the movie in Chippewa Square is still a popular spot for photographs. You also might remember it as the "Life is like a box of chocolates" scene. If you haven't seen the movie Forrest Gump, you really should. It's one of a classic movie that'll go down through the millennia as a great work of art, at least in my humble opinion. So Savannah's most famous resident, as far as I can tell, was probably lyricist Johnny Mercer, who was born and raised in Savannah and eventually brought back from Hollywood to be buried in his hometown. So he's best known as a Tin Pan Alley lyricist. So from the mid-1930s through the mid-1950s, many of the songs Mercer wrote and performed were among the most popular hits of the time. He wrote the lyrics to more than 1,500 songs, including compositions for movies and Broadway shows. He received 19 Academy Award nominations and won 4 Best Original Song Oscars. Some of his hits that he penned the lyrics for included Moon River, Day of Wine and Roses, Accentuate the Positive, That Old Black Magic, Hooray for Hollywood, and One More for My Baby and One More for the Road. If you've ever been to a jazz bar, or not a jazz bar necessarily, but if you've ever listened to a jazz group perform that has a vocalist that's singing, chances are better than 50% that sometime during the evening that vocalist is going to cover a song by Johnny Mercer. That's how prolific of a songwriter he was. You know, and Mercer always remained humble about his work, attributing much of his success to luck and timing. So, very, very famous person from Savannah, Georgia, that you probably didn't know about because, I mean, he was before my time too, but I guarantee if you watch any movies, you've heard some, any older movies, you've heard Johnny Mercer songs. You just didn't realize you were hearing them. Savannah was also the scene of the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. It was written by John Berendt. If you haven't read it, it is a wonderful book. I loved the book and I highly recommend it. Also, it was a movie directed by Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood got the rights to the movie and made a very good movie. It stuck pretty close to the book, so I recommend the movie as well. So we could go on and on about Savannah, but let's take a look at some fantasy dream homes in Savannah. Let's zoom in a little closer. Okay, so we see that we're right in the city, and right next to a park right here. And let me pull up my notes. So the first house we're talking about is selling for $6,750,000. It's located in downtown Savannah, built in 1908. It has 6 beds, 11 baths. It's about a third of an acre, or 0.133 hectares. It's 14,500 square feet, or about 1,347 square meters. So it's overlooking Savannah's picturesque Forsyth Park in the historic landmark district. The Millsby Lane House, it's referred to as, built around circa 1907, is a Georgian Revival jewel. The iconic home is known for its Corinthian columns, swan's neck pediment, grand shuttered windows with splayed lintels, parquet floors, and period moldings with 29 hand-painted murals adorning the grand entrance hall. Handsome pocket doors open to 2 formal parlors a ballroom-sized dining room, and an intimate library with built-in bookshelves, all with French doors revealing the poolside garden veranda. The estate features a gourmet chef's kitchen with a butler's pantry and commercial-grade luxury appliances, lower floor wine and billiards rooms and spa, 4 third-floor bedrooms, one the luxurious master suite, and a 4th-floor suite, along with an elevator, in-ground pool with a pool house. So this is your antebellum architecture that we're talking about right here. And, you know, the listing agent, she did such a good job of describing this. I had to know, I clicked on her profile, and she didn't just do a great job of the description. She also did a really good job in the pictures, and you're going to see that they make sense. And more listing agents should do what she did. So I decided to look up her profile, and I see that she's with Sotheby's. And so I get started down this rabbit hole. So I'm reading about her, then I read about Sotheby's real estate, and I found out that they talk about the annual report, this Sotheby's top 1,000 residential real estate agents and teams based on the 2017 annual sales volume and transaction size. I had never heard of this, so of course I dug a little deeper, and here it is. And this can be in your show notes. You can actually look up, according to this, you know, applies to the United States only, but you can look up by your state. You can look up individual rankings or team rankings if you want to see what real estate team they're on. So, for example, if you want to know who the highest sales volume agent is in the entire nation, or who it is in your particular area, you can go to this page, and this is by transaction volume here, and it tells you that this particular gentleman, Ben Caballero, he works out of Dallas Fort Worth, and you know, he's getting a lot of credit, so is this gentleman here, but when you dig a little bit deeper, you find out, well, basically they own a firm, so it's not necessarily that they're closing that much business on themselves. They have a team of people working for them that are closing business under their name. But still, so you can reorganize this, so, you know, like any database, so you can click here under state, and boom, it alphabetizes according to state. If you live in the state of Ohio and you want to find out who is the number one selling agent, or who are the couple of the agents that are doing some serious volume, and if that's something that attracts you by your real estate agent, you just come down here to the O's. And here we have 2 agents, Adam Kaufman and Julie Back, and they tell you what areas they represent. This Adam works out of Cleveland, Julie works out of Cincinnati, and you can click it more, and you know, you can tells you what agencies they work at. If you want to work with a high volume agent, these are your people. You can also, so it's a so this report is a useful tool to help, you know, if you're looking for an agent who can move property quickly. This is a good way to find these individuals. So back to our home. Let's get in and start digging here. So, I mean, it's gorgeous. And by the way, here's your classic Spanish moss right here that you're going to see in certain areas of the South. And we're using Trulia, the website, real estate website Trulia today. I try to shake it up and move different areas, but gorgeous columns. And she did say Corinthian columns, but those are Ionic columns. So maybe we'll see Corinthian columns later on. So it means very meticulously landscaped and well taken care of. And so you're in the downtown, but you got a very high wall here. That's probably about at least a 12, if not a 15-foot brick wall surrounding the that makes your little oasis of paradise. And you're right in the middle of the city. You have your own private pool and beautiful gardens. So more pool pictures. Come on, let's get inside. Okay, so here we go. And what I like about her photos is they make sense, because she's going to go through this hallway. And so now this is what more listing agents need to do. So she took a photo looking in the door. Now we go into the door 10, 15 feet, then turn around and look back at what we just looked at. And she's going to do this in every room. So, gorgeous chandelier, beautiful wood moldings, wood trim everywhere you're going to see. And now we're quite a ways further down the hallway, turning back and looking at the front door. And you're getting an idea of the sheer size of this house, of the very large size of this house. It's 14,500 square feet, or 1,300 and change square meters. And now we're looking into one of the front rooms right off the front door. And, gorgeous, long, tall windows and long, tall drapes. And you're going to see this wood trim all over the place. It just makes it absolutely beautiful. There's your parquet floor there. I love parquet floors. Gorgeous trim around the fireplace. And all of this, the decor, the furniture they're using makes really good sense for the architectural style of the house and where the house is located. It's well thought out. And this is why you hire a designer. This is why you hire an interior decorator. I mean, I can't do this stuff. Another room. It's, these rooms are very similar, just dealing with different color schemes here. We're seeing fireplace in almost every room. So you notice the difference between this room from going from here to here. Notice how the color of the yellow changes on the wall. We're in the same room. We're in the same room, but what we're doing is we're looking at it from two different sides of the room, and the camera is picking up more light in one picture than the other. And so in one room, the colors look paler, and the other room, they look brighter, more vibrant. So another reason why you really have to, you can't buy a house. You have to go there in person to see the house, to get a true appreciation of the colors and the textures. So fireplaces in every room that we've seen so far. And I think we're out in the hallway looking into another room. And I like what she's doing. She's moving from one side of the hallway to the other, giving you perspective. And there she's obviously showing you and the absolute gorgeous woodwork. This house was built in 1908, circa 1907, so you still had craftsmen that could do this kind of work that were abundant, and it's beautiful. You can't get this anymore in homes. Now we're in another room. Again, fireplaces in every room. This would be quite the cozy place on a cold night, wouldn't it? Sort of a reading room, relaxing room. Here's your formal dining area. Parquet floors everywhere. I wonder if that was, emblematic of antebellum architecture, of parquet floors are. I don't know. Okay, so now we're getting into the high-end kitchen appliances that she called a chef's kitchen. And here's your dual oven, your cooktop over here, your great big sink. I love those sinks. Another shot. The only thing is, I would come up higher. I would have put a warming drawer below just to get this, to bump this oven up to here, so the top of the oven would actually be up here. You know why? Because who wants to be bending over into that lower oven all the time? Why not put a warming drawer down here where you can, and warming drawers, I don't know if you've ever used them or not, but let's say you've cooked, I don't know, lasagna, for example. You serve your lasagna, then you bring the unused portions or whatever, the baking dish, back. Instead of just letting it sit out, you bring it back and you put it in a warming drawer. And, if you made muffins or whatever, you put those in the warming drawer. Then if people want more, you go back to your warming drawer, and it's nice and piping hot. And you put the warming drawer down there, and you bump the ovens up, and that eliminates all the bending over for the lower oven. Just my preference. So they're using wood plank floors here, which is real nice. I would get tired of looking at parquet in every room. Oh, it's a little card table, a small nook, a little small dining table. And we're back out the outside here. I'm going to go through these. Here's our wine cellar down below. Good sized wine cellar. I'm curious about what that is over there. Maybe we'll see here in a second. Okay, so see, and she goes to the other side of the room, takes another photo. Wish more agents would do this. That way it's truly a virtual tour. Okay, so we're in a billiard room now, obviously. Looks like we got a little kitchen. Yeah, the kitchenette's right off the billiard room. So, now, here's something. This is a problem I have. Okay, so we're in a home that's selling for US dollars, 6.75 million, right? Why do we have a conventional refrigerator here? Why all of a sudden do we decide to go cheap? To me, if you have sub-zero refrigeration in the kitchen, then you better have sub-zero refrigeration through the rest of the house. You don't put a Maytag or a Frigidaire or a GE, General Electric refrigerator here. You stay high-end through the whole house. Why are you going cheap? You don't think anybody else is going to go through the rest of your house and see this? To me, that's going cheap. Little movie room. I think they could have done better, but, I don't know. It just looks plain. Small little sitting area right outside the double doors heading out to the pool. And we're lots of garden shots here. And that's the first home. So let's go to the second home. And let's check it out on Google Earth. See where it is. It's quite a ways away on the other side of the city. This property is actually sitting on the Vernon River. And, you know, it's a long rectangular lot. There's your boundary lines, obviously, where the trees, and there's your road. So let's check out our property. So our second house is selling for US dollars 4.5 million. In Australian, about 6 million. Canadian, 5.9 million. Euros, 3.8 million. New Zealand dollars, 6.65 million, and British pounds, that would be about 3.4 million. And as I try to say once in a while in our videos, this is all subject to change because currencies fluctuate constantly by the minute, by the second. So this is only at the time that I happen to look these up. But it gives you a good idea of where it is in relation to your world currency. It was built in 1847. There are 5 bedrooms, 5.5 baths. In other words, 5.5 baths. One of them is a half bathroom. It's 1.57 acre lot size, or about a little over a half of a hectare. 4,974 square feet, or about 462 square meters. When you look at the description, there's really not any information to speak of compared to the other description. So I really like the other description more. But we'll just go ahead and click in and let's start taking a look at our property here. See what we can figure out ourselves. So here we have what appears to be some kind of stone property with some moss growing. It shows some character. And is that the same house? Yeah, that's closer up. So it looks like it has yellow clapboard siding. And let's get closer here. Okay, so we're just inside the front door, obviously. Interesting decorations, isn't it? And so you're going to get this wallpaper going on here, which we don't see a lot of wallpaper anymore. But it's, you know, it's got a kind of a good look to it. Interesting glass over the very, very wide front entrance. So you got your double doors, and then on top of that, you have glass surround on all sides, you know, so wood plank floors. Beautiful wood plank floors, by the way. You know, kind of busy looking. Okay, so now we're inside the front door, and whoa, somebody likes to look at a picture of themselves. I'm guessing that's the Grand Dame. I don't know if I'd want such a large photo of myself in a front entrance hall. Or is it some kind of celebrity that is passed on or something? I don't know. It just seems kind of strange. But so beautiful wood floors continuing through to what appears to be, is that the back? Was that their front entrance? That's what appears to be back. I don't know. I'm interested in this right here. I don't know if that's wallpaper or is that a tin roof, tin ceiling. Don't know. And we're not going to know. So guess they don't want us to know. Gorgeous room, isn't it? I mean, beautiful study or den, if you want to call it. I love this arched entrance to another room, walk-through area, and the colors, very nice colors. I'm guessing a decorator was involved in here, and just, you know, personal opinion, I think it looks pretty cool. Now that's interesting. So we're going down to a basement, and you have this old farm door-ish looking door that you just plain, I I don't think I've ever seen that inside of a home. It's cool looking though. Very rustic, you know, very antique. That is a wallpaper. Aha. So there it is. So we have this molding on the ceiling, and then inside they put a wallpaper on the ceiling. Wow, I gotta tell you, I've never seen that before either. So we got a kind of a cool decorator here. Wow, I mean, these are cool rooms. Great big entryways. That's at least 10 feet high, if not 12 feet up there. So you can see, and you can see all the way through. It's a real open floor plan, if you will. You know, look at everywhere you look. That's like a gold wallpaper going on here. It's really, I think it's cool looking. It's very, very nice looking. Fireplace. And we're back at our main hallway with our huge picture of somebody. And I mean, I think these floors are absolutely gorgeous. And there's that ceiling designed wallpaper on a ceiling. I mean, that's I would call that bold. But and then you have a different wallpaper going on here. Chandelier. It's just it's very interesting. Kind of a narrow space here. Okay, so now we're kind of looking at two different rooms. That is very interesting. I'm curious as heck to know what the heck that little door is for. It's a door between two rooms and a passageway between two rooms. What would go here? Boy, oh boy, I'm guessing it's not an iron. Okay, so we have a bedroom. Pretty much wallpaper on every single room we've seen so far. Nice little sitting area, cozy area, and I see that a fire is actually lit. And what I'm wondering is, does Savannah really get cold nights? I'm thinking that I'm wondering why there's all these fireplaces. Does it get that cold in the winter in Savannah? Maybe it does. Yeah, see, fireplaces in every room. We saw that in the last house we looked at too. So, and again, we have wallpaper and the trim up here in every single room. Okay, appears to be like a small study. Wait a minute. There's a shower head. So, how can that be? What the heck am I looking at? Why is this divide right here? Isn't that a desk? It's a desk. Oh, no. That's a sink, silly. That is a sink, and I'm guessing we're looking at a mirror here. We need more shots. Okay, so now we're in a master bedroom. Okay. Back to wallpaper again. You know, the problem with wallpaper is you have to be very careful, because when it comes to reselling time, you're going to have lots of people who are not going to like the look of that. They're going to say, oh man, that is so busy, that has got to go. You get too many of those negative impressions, the price starts to go down in people's minds, because they're thinking, look at all the work we're going to have to do to refurbish this place. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I don't think I would have that. I wouldn't, as far as visiting somebody else's home, it's like, okay, good for you. It works, but not for me. Master bathroom, sort of an average sized tub. I'd like to see something a little bit bigger in a master bedroom, especially in a home at this price range. outside deck, so we're on a second floor surround balcony, I guess you would call this. Not really a deck, it's more of a balcony. And there's your Vernon River. So we're looking out the back of the house towards the Vernon River. You know, what always makes me a little bit nervous living right next to a river is flooding. To me, that's way too flat a plain to be living on, to be living that next to a big body of water like that. I want some hill. I want some incline. And I'm talking not a couple of feet. I want 20, 30 feet of hill between me and a body of water, of elevated, you know. I would always be nervous about flooding in a place like this. But that's just me, okay? So again, we have, okay, so you got all these, I wouldn't call them cupboards, but they're shelves. They're display shelves for putting your china. And I'm trying to figure out what this is here. Is that wallpaper, or is that, I can't figure it out. I need another shot here. Okay. And great big kitchen range going on here. You got two, this looks like it has two full-size ovens right here. And I mean, this is a fish. They put a fish up here where a fish need not be. Just a tiny little island here. But, you know, you could say that's for legitimate food prep. It's, you know, you got to get that garbage off of it first so that you can actually use it. But, yeah, not seeing a lot of cabinetry here. You know, cabinets here. Not seeing a lot of cabinets in this particular place. That looks like an older microwave. But, okay, so we're looking back. Look at it. Isn't it interesting how the color changes simply by taking another photo out the opposite side of the room? You notice how we went from the greens and now we almost go to browns. That's the same kitchen. It's just that the camera is taking in more light looking this way and the colors are not being accurately represented. So, and is this where they're going to dine? Is this where people are going to dine? On this high table with the, I assume those are about 36-inch bar stool chairs. I don't know. Don't know. So this is more like a sun porch. Okay, and this again is, I can't tell if we're elevated, but this is appears to be either another balcony or this is actually a porch. Okay, and okay, so you can see this whole house is surrounded, and this is screened in, or is it glassed in? That could be glass, right there, glassed in. Don't know. Yeah, so this is like a giant porch area that surrounds the house. Okay, and so there's your balcony. This is your porch area. And here you have like another nice outdoor sitting area that's covered, sitting right at the river's edge. This would be like maybe where they launch their boats from. And speak of the devil, there's your boat launch. So that's our second house. So the first house was going for 6.75 million, and this one's 4.5 million, and I'm curious to find out which one you like better. Well, that was an amazing tour of some great fantasy dream homes in Savannah, Georgia, wasn't it? And did you know that there was so much happening in Savannah, Georgia? I didn't until I started doing the research. Well, we invite you, if you like this channel, please share your comments below and like it by all means, the video, and also subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click the little bell if you want notifications of where we're going to be putting out new videos. It'll notify you to let you know, hey, we got a new one out there. And as always, we thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye. And that's Pinterest.com/fantasy dream homes. Woo, flies.